Welcome back to Naturally Speaking. I'm your host, Dr. Kerith Powell, chiropractor at Dr. Chris's Natural Remedies. And I'm joined by Dr. Crescinda Morgan, naturopath at Dr. Chris's Natural Remedies. This show highlights some interesting people that are doing interesting things in our community. And I know I speak for Dr. Morgan when I say that we are grateful that you're spending your time with us.
We work together to bring content that we know you'll enjoy and benefit from. That's the most important thing. So if there's something special you're looking for, you want us to do, you need to let us know. You can find out how to reach us by watching to the end of this show, get the information, get the website and such. But right now, let's get on with the show.
Welcome to Naturally Speaking, brought to you by Dr. Chris's Natural Remedies and BR Media Solutions. On this episode, Dr. Morgan is going to be discussing the third portion of the conversation that we've been having on essential fatty acids. And we'll also be joined by Darren and Jess, our Qi Gong instructors, who offer a class in our store. Welcome back to the show. With us now are Jess and Darren. Darren is a physicist, martial arts instructor, and general mad scientist. Is that correct?
That's a good way to put it.
Very good. Well, welcome to the show, both of you.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. Well, today we'd like to talk about how we met. First at the Grayson Park, doing some Qi Gong out there with some of your friends. And how did you get started with Qi Gong? And what is Qi Gong? What is the origin of Qi Gong? And you can start with that and then enlighten me.
Okay, so that means we're going to try to cover about 1,500 years of history here.
Let's.
Much of it which I remember. So, Qi Gong is actually the name given to a large number of sets of exercises.
Okay.
That are very gentle exercises as a gentle rule. There are two types, actually. I'm getting a little ahead of myself on that, but there are two types. There's what are known as external exercises, which tend to focus on isometric tension. Then there are internal sets, which focus more on breathing, slow movement, and general control of the body rather than hard tension type of movements.
Okay.
So rather than it being something like an exercise set that you would find at the gymnasium, this is something that can be done in a small space, and it is something that can help relieve pain very quickly.
Okay.
Now, the origin of the word Qigong, in Chinese, it's usually translated from Chinese to English as energy work. That's a little bit of a misnomer. Qi is a name given to the life force in Chinese medicine.
Okay.
Chiropractic, I believe, uses the term vitalism in a number of places.
Yes.
There's a lot of similarities between the two ideas.
Okay.
The concept of Qi, though, can also be thought of just simply as bioelectricity, the electricity that your body produces to make it function properly.
Okay.
Gong is a rather interesting word because it literally means work that is done over a long period of time. So there's no quick fix in it.
I see.
If you're looking for the quick fix, this is not the place to look. Qigong, as we understand it today, the first use of the word was apparently in like 1953 in the title of a book written by a couple of Chinese physicians. Prior to that, most of the exercises were listed under the term Dao Yin, which could be translated as internal exercise. And there are a number of sets that have evolved over the centuries. One of the oldest sets is the Shibalohan Gong, which was created by a Buddhist monk, Bodhidharma, who is known in China as Damo. He's the one who is the legendary founder of the martial arts, but that's legend.
Mm-hmm.
It's not reality, unfortunately. But he did arrive in China, went to the Shaolin Temple where he was welcomed, and found the monks were in terrible shape. And as a result, they couldn't meditate as long as he felt they should be meditating. So he taught them a simple set of exercises to make it possible for them to meditate longer. Well, sedentary monks have a lot in common with sedentary Americans. I mean, if you sit for a long period of time, you're sitting for a long period of time.
Yes.
Whether you're meditating or gazing at a computer screen.
Okay.
And so we have some of the same problems today that those monks had 1,500 years ago.
Now, these sets, help me understand what a set is. Is it a group of exercises that go together always? Can you split exercises up and create new sets?
Absolutely.
Okay.
There are so-called traditional sets. Mm-hmm. There's one, the Baduajin, which is the 8 brocades. Almost every school that teaches Qi Gong teaches some variation of the 8 brocades.
Okay.
That set has been around since the 12th century. But you'll find a lot of those exercises have been imported into more modern sets. For example, there's a set that one of my own teachers created just about 4 years ago, which utilizes a lot of the exercises that she has learned from different sets in conjunction with some additional material.
I see. And do you find that, because this seems new, 4 years is not that long ago when we're talking about an art that has been around for 1,500 years.
Sure.
Are you finding that there's science, there's new discoveries that are being incorporated into this information, into this practice, art of practice or healing? Or is this a recycling of the older exercises? What are your thoughts on that?
We're finding a lot more new science being incorporated. And a large part of it is also that teachers today are working more to incorporate our newer understanding of the sciences, mm-hmm. rather than just rehashing things that are hidden in metaphor and mysticism.
I see.
But if you can actually talk to someone in terms of doing this exercises stretches these particular muscles, it helps to realign posture of this part of the anatomy or something to that effect, mm-hmm. then it makes it possible for the modern student to relate what they learn by their training to a lot of the work that chiropractors such as yourself are doing.
Well, that's why I invited you, because when I started the training with you guys in at the park out there, it was very easy for me to see right away the benefits of this, what I call gentle flow. It's really, and I'm not really good at pronouncing the names of the sets that we were doing.
Neither am I, that's okay.
but I could feel the effects. And I've invited you here because I'd like to introduce to everyone on this show the fact that we're going to be able to allow folks to come into in our location at our venue here on Main Street, Snellville, and learn from you this Qi Gong, a few of these basic sets. Now, what would people who are interested in learning a little bit about this, what could they expect if they came to a class or signed up for the program that you offer, the one that I've taken?
Our fundamental class covers 2 sets. One is called the 6 Healing Sounds, and the other is called the Taoist 5. They are 2 very gentle sets of exercises. The most complex piece of equipment that you need would be, at best, a yoga mat, and even that's optional. As long as you have a little bit of space where you can move just a little bit, you can do these exercises.
Okay.
And by having the chance to practice these exercises at home, you can work to make improvements in your health literally in minutes a day. Don't have 30 minutes to do an entire set? No problem. Do you have 30 seconds? If so, do a couple of repetitions of one of these exercises, mm-hmm. then get on about your day. Got a few minutes a little bit later in the day? Do a little bit more. A few minutes later, do a little bit more. You can do them from a seated position. You can do them from a standing position. Some of them can be done lying down.
All right.
And this allows people to work the exercises into the course of their day.
So what's fascinating to me about what you just said is if I had a loved one at home that was unable to move about very easily, I could come and take this class and teach this to them.
Absolutely. One of the best students I had was not expected to live beyond about the age of 60. His doctor did not have much hope for him. 4 strokes, 2 heart attacks, quadruple bypass, that doesn't add up very well. Well, he did finally pass away at the age of 74. He did this type of exercise every single day. And very likely, this helped contribute to his continued living beyond what was expected.
How would people get in touch with you if they wanted to at this point? Do you have a phone number, website, or anything, or do you want them to call the office?
At the moment, we haven't set up a website or anything to that effect. We're in the process of getting that sort of thing done. To gain more information, just contact your office. We'll have all of the information there.
Okay.
If anyone has specific questions, our information will have an email address. They can contact us. Please feel free to send messages through the ethers, and we'll be more than happy to respond to them.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. But before we go, would you demonstrate some of the set here?
Sure.
And you can do a modified version of that in your car while you're sitting in Atlanta traffic.
That sounds pretty appetizing right now. Woo!
Do that before you get out of your car. See if it doesn't alleviate some of your upper body stress and tension after a long drive.
Yeah, yeah. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for being here and sharing this with us and making your skills and talents available to us at Dr. Chris's Natural Remedies. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. We'll be right back. So one of the questions that came up after I did this interview was whether or not Qigong was a religious practice. And Qigong started without any religion associated with it at all. But of course, it started in China, and the predominant religions there at the time are Buddhist and Taoist. And so most of the practitioners were Buddhist or Taoist at the time. However, today, Qigong is practiced by members of all faiths, and Qigong in and of itself has no religious connotation. So I just wanted to make that clear because that was a question that came up. I thought it was a valid one. The other question was how much time do I have to practice Qigong? And the answer from most instructors are 10 to 15 minutes twice a day. And so this is a class that you can attend for a loved one who's bedridden at home, to take it back to them and give them some energy back into their life, something that they can do. And I really think it's going to be valuable, if not just for that one reason alone. Now, any healthy person can come and enjoy this class, and I hope that you come and join with us. I'll be there.
So welcome back. We are going to now go into inflammation and how greatly essential fatty acids can help to battle that. And I'm talking about inflammations of every kind. So you can name just about any sickness or illness, and it's going to be an inflammatory status in the body. That's just what it is. So joints, bone, muscle.
If it has itis, it's an inflammation.
There you go. There you go. Colitis, bronchitis. Yeah. So it also carries out layer by layer. So we may see this in the form of skin. We have skin issues that are considered inflammatory.
Okay.
Okay. So, and in that way, essential fatty acids can actually serve you twofold. You can take supplementation and also get it through diet orally. You can also use it topically.
Okay.
So oils are great for that.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah. So skin, yes. Asthma, bronchial issue, upper respiratory issue, colds, your average upper respiratory issue, urinary tract issues. You really, there's not many things you can name that an essential fatty acid would not help, because the crux of that, the baseline of an essential fatty acid is that it is a anti-inflammatory.
Oh.
So whatever we have going on, there's a great chance that we're going to get a result from that.
Yeah.
And I will say this too. Sometimes, depending on what your doctor has told you and the dosage that you're using, if you don't know that, you need to come because we can help you with that. But depending on your dosage and the conditions or condition that you have, your dosage can be trended upward based on recommendation, or downward with what's going on with your inflammation level.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, if there's an illness in the body, usually there's some tissue damage, and once the tissue gets damaged, it starts to inflame. So whether or not you were talking about a sports injury, twisting your ankle, or someone with osteoarthritis, the joint diseases that makes it difficult to go up and down the stairs, or difficult to turn your head in different directions, someone coming in with a cough, maybe a persistent cough, and you mentioned rash and skin conditions. Someone like that or in that condition would benefit from supplementing with a good quality sourced essential fatty acid.
Yeah.
End of story.
Yeah. Yeah, and the enzymes I wanted to talk about a quick second, because we mentioned this before, but enzymes are heavily active in the breakdown process of your foods. So enzymes can also be useful when you're doing an essential fatty acid. You can do the enzymes on an empty stomach and the essential fatty acids on a full stomach, because the enzymes on an empty stomach work toward eating away that inflammation. So really around the clock then you've got this beautiful display of lowering inflammation little by little, letting the body adapt as you heal and get better, and you coat those nerves, and you can heal from the ground up from there. So it's amazing.
Well, I think of enzymes as lowering action potentials. They essentially act to make something easier in the body to accomplish. So an enzyme would go in and facilitate an action. So like you say, if there are byproducts from this inflammation, because inflammation is essentially tissue damage, and this is the death of a tissue cell that's being floated, that's just floating around in the space in between our cells, the enzyme will come, pick that right up, and facilitate its elimination in a speedy, more healthy way. It doesn't accumulate and give our body extra work.
Right. It's very, very helpful. And that being said, when you're talking about sort of a detox mechanism there, it's coming in and it's cleaning up the area in the cell. So with that, you've got your liver working toward that effect as well. So the enzymes come in on that empty stomach there and have a direct line. So they're not stopping to work on food. They're actually going straight to the inflammation.
Straight to the inflammation.
Yeah.
And that doesn't have to pass through the whole system. Yeah, you really want to find someone to talk to on a personal level who can really discuss your specific condition and your specific concerns when it comes to the role that nutritional supplementation can play. Because here we are, we've discussed 4 sections on essential fatty acids by itself. We've gone over what they are. They're essential. You cannot make them in your body. You have to get them from your diet, the sources of which are many, the types are numerous and the effects are enormous because they affect your mood, your focus, development from the baby going all the way up to elderlies, autoimmune disease conditions, sports injuries, and we just discussed the inflammation and removing the toxins in our system. So knowing which one is right for you requires the assistance of a professional, a trained professional, somebody who has you in mind. And I'm so happy that I've met you, Dr. Morgan, because I think that you have been such a bright spot in not just my life, but in so many others too. So I want to thank you for that.
My absolute pleasure.
Yeah.